Yeah, I mean, it really does. That was with no drift mode on, and it still does really like to hang around.
It's so fun to drive.
Yeah.
I just like...
This is the most technologically forward car with its biometric authentication and everything, but yet you have to plug in your device to get CarPlay.
And down there.
And down there.
And then there's nowhere to put your phone.
Well, actually. Hey everybody, it's Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and today we have a white key. And that is because we're driving the 2023 Genesis GV60 Performance in Uyuni White.
That was probably the right way to say that.
Probably. We like to call it $575 white because it's
right.
optional.
It's an
Some
optional
cars you get
extra.
white for free, but this is if you feel like
Well, you
paying
can.
for white.
You can have a white for free on the GV60, but if you want this white, it's more.
And you're getting a rare DM night drive or evening drive.
That's right.
Today,
well,
because
it's only 5 o'clock, but in Michigan, in this time of year.
likes to not light us and become
Would you
dark
like me to demo
very early.
the thing?
Let's get to that. Let's do it proper. So this is an all-electric model from Genesis. There is no gasoline counterpart. This is built on the same platform as corporate cousins Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and EV6. But this one is full of really fun features. It's supposed to challenge the ideas of what a new car is here in 2022. Popping open the trunk, we see a cargo area. Chris likes nets so that he can get things and put them under the net. Chris doesn't like nets when he's trying to get into the underfloor storage. And it will be nighttime by the time Chris gets this open.
Let's just look from here.
There is some place
is a
to
charger.
put charger, and that's a good thing to have in a car like this because you do need to charge it. This is kind of an it's to put one of those cargo covers. Cargo area covers.
Ooh, Alcantara.
Yeah, it's a weird place. Why bother putting Alcantara all the way back
blue
here?
and lime green interior.
Yeah,
it's like
this
a
interior looks
highlighter.
pretty cool. All right, this is powered because, of course, it is. This is a $70,000 car, which you all have already seen from the graphic.
I bet you the steering column is not powered.
That'll disappoint me. That'll disappoint me greatly. Well, let's get into
let's try the back seat.
Yeah, the back seat. Handles pop out because that is efficient. Also, it's locked. Is yours locked? Oh. That's right. Chris has unlocked it using his eyeballs, which we'll talk about here shortly. Oof, this seat is all the way back, and this is not a large crossover.
Bang & Olufsen, that's interesting in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
I would have expected a Lexicon.
Yeah, well, they're the same. They're owned by the same company. They're all owned by Harman. Kind of like just a
Why does
rebadge.
Harman just own everything?
Harman started buying up sound systems in the late 90s, early 2000s, and now they own nearly all of them. They don't own Bowers & Wilkins, and they don't own Bose.
But they own all of them, all of the other
Pretty much all the other ones, yeah. We have a place to put your arms. That is hard. That's
and your
unfortunate.
cups.
And your cups. And your phones. Lots of circles in this car. I don't know how much
and
you'll
ambient
be able
lighting.
to see because of
heated seat back here,
nighttime.
and a vent in the B-pillar.
Yeah, B-pillar vents are good.
Yeah.
Everything
What
feels
does this
pretty
do?
solid.
I think that's just to hang, like somewhere to hang your things.
Self. All right, well, now the viewers are really not going to be able to see anything. So let's stick to driving for this intro because they're not going to be able to see much. But before we do get that, let's demonstrate to you a cool party trick with the GV60, and that's the fact you can drive it entirely without a key or even a phone because it has biometric recognition. So if Chris walks up to his car, now let me point out here, I mean the key was here,
you gotta
but
go.
You can take our word for it if the key were not here. Chris can simply walk up. He can put his eye up to the car, and it's scanning his eyes right now, and it's let him in. And now once he does get in, there's an extra level of security. In case someone were to have just looked similar to you, he can scan his fingerprint and actually start the car. And that's pretty cool because I know a lot of people who don't like to have keys on them, like to keep things light. Alyssa, for example, often wears pants without pockets. Unfortunately, our male-dominated patriarchal society often removes pockets from women's clothing. Yeah, I told you. See, I had faith.
He had faith.
Yep. I'm going to turn my heated seats on. How would I do that? Don't tell me. Yes.
Physical control.
Yeah, quite nice. Although, blue and. Why is it only Cadillac? I couldn't figure that out. How to make separate lights.
I'm gonna turn the steering wheel on as well. I am intrigued. Would you like to know why?
Why is that, Chris?
Because of the boost button on the steering wheel.
Yes. Last time you boosted one of these, you had no traction.
That's right. It was terrifying. They're also in the rain, though.
This is rocking 2 electric motors, one in the front and one in the rear, both of equal power. We should be having quite a lot of get up and go. Genesis claims you should be able to see 4 seconds 0 to 60
That's
using
insane.
boost. Yeah, that's very quick.
That's insanely fast.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a big glass roof there. I don't know. Is there a shade
tinted,
for that?
So yes, it's the type of shade that will pinch your hand if you put that in the middle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Press the OK button to browse all widgets. Press and
Doesn't seem
hold
like a good
the
thing
OK
to do
button
while you're driving.
hide cluster widgets. Moving left or right will change song station if not browsing widgets. Press the OK button 3 times quickly to reset the currently selected widget.
So that's good. It gave you driver 2, knowing that was your face that came in.
Yeah.
So not only can you unlock and lock your car, etc. from those, but if you shared this car with a spouse or friend or something like that, someone else, they could have a profile and you could have a profile. And for example, if I walk up and scan my face, it'll load my climate settings, my radio presets, my seating positions, everything like that. And if Chris walks up, it'll load Chris's. Wireless device charger is here.
You've got iPedal, but you do have to use the paddle shifter to turn it on every time.
That is annoying.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is one pedal driving.
Yes, sorry.
Oof, we are definitely not the first people to get this car. 7,000 miles.
7007. Pretty confident in this.
Yeah, I think you'll have enough power to get up to speed quite
Ready?
quick here. Yep. Wow. Not enough to make me moan, though.
You just wait.
You're going to use boost?
Yeah.
You just wait, he says. I'm looking forward to spending time with this car.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to start out in sport mode. I wanted to save it.
It's good to save yourself.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about that, though. Okay, here we go.
Shots fired. Oh!
Oh, my goodness.
That was good. He did it again! Ah!
Boost ready. Oh, it holds boost for like
10 seconds.
10 seconds, yeah. That's quick. That's a quick car.
Yeah, quick and snappy.
Not quite as quick as the i4 M50, but pretty dang close.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a boo-boo bus.
Boo-boo. I've never heard that phrase.
Really?
Yeah. That's hilarious. You can take the right here.
I know. I'm just trying to be respectful of the boo-boo bus.
No, he's on the other
I know.
divided highway. Get going, Chris. That's fun.
Pretty good steering feel.
Okay, it seemed to corner pretty flat there. This performance model gets a little bit less range, but like I said, the powerful spec motors and some 21-inch wheels that look pretty cool. We'll show them off a little bit more later on this week.
Some wind noise.
Yes, there is some wind noise, but you have to remember it's not being drowned out by any sort of engine noise. So
That's true.
Electric vehicles get it's a little unfair for them in that way. Nice signal F-150. Oh, we had some spinach there.
It's so fast.
I also appreciate that Hyundai Kia products still allow you to disable stability and traction control. Not many new cars do that, especially EVs. They give you a little bit of nanny still, but Hyundai says, hey, if you want it, you got it. And that's good. I respect them.
I've used 2% of our battery already.
I believe that.
Yeah.
This is kind of a nice... Ooh, you know what I bet we have in this?
The new Sounds of Nature?
Well, yes. S-tier ambient lighting, which you are a big fan of.
Yeah, well, it's on, but it's very dim.
Yes.
I doubt it's S tier, by the way. I bet it's like B tier.
Really?
Yeah, the Ioniq 5 wasn't that great.
Vehicle.
It was okay, which is why I said B.
But this is much nicer. Oh, we've got active sound design. Chris, let me turn that on.
Oh my god,
for
the seat. Oh my. Woo! Did you feel the rear end go a little?
you. Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of.
Gas motor.
Oh.
That sounds... Whoa, you can do custom sound? Get out of... Oh, no, that's just going to mean you can, like, personalize it. So we're going to turn this all the way up. Like that.
It'd be cool if you could make it sound like a V8. Ooh, I want to hear that one. Hold on.
This is the one I just did, and you were like, ugh.
Oh, G engine. Gas engine.
I assume that's what it's supposed to mean. It does kind of sound like a little 2-liter turbo or something.
Yeah, it does.
Just at remarkably low revs. Come to a stop and then accelerate. I want to hear what it sounds like from a stop. It does kind of sound like a gas car.
Yeah, it does.
That's kind of silly.
That was like 85 miles per hour.
Wow. Allegedly. Lights. Ambient lighting.
Something's rattling.
This car has 70,000 miles on it. You're right. That is not S tier.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like
There's
honestly,
no lights up here.
It's honestly not even B tier. It's like C tier. Actually, the fact that you can change colors might boost it up a little, because sometimes.
Yeah, you get BMW spec colors where you can get like 5. Although with the i7, that's changing.
What do you think, Charlie? Should we get a thumbnail?
No.
Why not? I bet you could rip donuts in this thing.
Oh yeah. Although it might just push.
It's true.
This car has drift mode.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but I know it has it. Let's see.
And there's drift mode activated.
Nothing happened. Put on the brake.
That's how you do it.
Maybe they have it disabled for this car.
What I'm about to show you is
So drift mode is not working for our car. We literally just watched a video with exactly how to do it, and it's not enabled. Maybe it's a charge level thing.
That's true. You may have to be over a certain percentage.
But we'll try it a few times throughout the week and follow up later.
Would you like me to leave everything off for you?
Sure.
Okay.
It's pretty quiet from the outside, even while it's running.
Yeah, surprising.
Yeah, very refined.
All right, everyone, hold on to your pants.
That just
It did not like that, and it tensioned my seatbelt.
spun the front wheels, not the rears.
Yeah. Ooh, and I'm still tensioned.
Smell that?
That doesn't smell right.
It's tire. You probably can't smell properly because your nostrils are full of phlegm. Gross. Alright, we're going to get back to DMHQ. Yeah, we were fine. I'm sitting up kind of high. Is this as low as the seat goes? Did you feel like you were sitting up high? Like
No.
a bus?
I think your torso's longer than mine, though, isn't it?
It might be. Steering's kind of heavy in sport mode. I'm going to go back to comfort. I like having the drive mode button right on the wheel. It's nice.
Why does that smell so heavily of tire? He only spun for like half a second.
Ripped up a lot of tire, I guess.
Oh, God, that's the brightest thing in the world. That is terrible. Put that on the lowest setting. There you go.
Oh, there's an autonomous bus testing out there.
Oh, yeah.
Initial observations, it feels cool. I am a bit disappointed that this is the way that luxury is going. Because
Yeah.
this doesn't feel...
It feels more sporty than it does luxury.
Well, right, and it is the performance model, I get that, but I'm talking more from like an interior and everything.
You wish it had a couch.
Yes, I wish it were a couch.
Yeah.
And some people confuse luxury for technology, and that's not always the case. We saw that with the new Mercedes EQS. The car wasn't very luxurious, it was very technologically forward. But sometimes you want a luxury product that's just, it's going to feel like a fine leather sofa, or what are some other luxury things people have around their homes?
1986 Cadillac Brougham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this feels very far from that. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to spend the next week and actually put quite a few miles on the GV60 and drive it in a few different conditions. And we will report back to you. I'll probably put in some footage here momentarily. I have my brights on. I'm a real jerk. Probably put in some footage of me charging and us traveling, and then Chris will probably put in footage of nothing, and then we'll wrap it up. Sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
So much for 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. We're charging at 78 kilowatts here. This car is supposed to be able to take 350. This is a 350 kilowatt charger, and not getting nearly those speeds. even though we preconditioned the battery. On the way here, we're at 12%. What's up, Genesis? What's up with this? Taking time out of my weekend with family to sit here and charge, and we're getting, what is that, a fifth of the amount of charge rate that we're supposed to be getting? Great. Love it. It is kind of fun seeing where charging will end you up. We're at some little place here in Saugatuck, Michigan, getting some charge in the EV6. These charge point chargers are kind of cool too. You can see that one says in big blue letters, in use. Oh, say hi to Alyssa there. And then the other one says available. This is a 125 kilowatt DC fast charger. And right there you got a level 2 and a level 3. Cute little shop, some cafe and provisions. Maybe I'll put the link under here to where we are. But yeah, I guess it's a silver lining to having to take up precious time out of your day to charge, is getting to see what's around. Literally the last morning getting into the GV60 to drive it into the office, and the shifter has not opened all the way. So it's sort of loose and not, is it shiftable? Oh, you can shift, okay. You can still shift it, but it hasn't latched into place. I'm gonna try turning it off and back on. All right, so that's proper. Okay, I went all the way that time. So, not encouraging for the one part that has to, you know, work for you to use your car.
Are we starting?
Yes.
Okay. I want to know about your drift.
Wrapping up our time with the Genesis GV60, we put a good amount of miles on this car, spent a good amount of time with it, and Chris has some things to say, but I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I am ready to get back in a gasoline car.
You've never said that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just...
What about this car did that for you?
Because...
I cannot believe the bombshell this morning of that. It's the last thing I expected to come out of your mouth.
Don't get me wrong. I really like EVs. They even now, year of our Lord 2022, still have their place in the market, but it's a specific place, and there are still times where they're very inconvenient, and I experienced that a good amount this weekend. Yeah, so I'll talk about that a little bit more, but let's talk about some of the more tangible aspects of the car, and then we'll talk a little bit more about EV ownership.
Can we talk about the most tangible aspect of this car? Drift mode.
Yeah, because that's what everyone gets this car for.
It is.
We can talk about how speedy it is.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like most EVs are pretty speedy at this point. So
This one's very speedy, though.
yes, this one is particularly speedy.
Because it has a boost button.
See, this car really does love to beep.
I never had that, although I never fully charged it, though. The highest I got it was like 80.
Yeah. Can we also point out that it's 97% charge, I'm only getting 173 miles of range.
The range didn't seem very
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, drift mode is cool. The problem is you only have half power to the rear wheels, so you have to really give it a lot of steering angle to get it to drift. Let's demonstrate that here. We gotta go. We have to be in park. All right. Well, we'll have to do that here in a minute then.
You still get a ton of rear bias, though, in sport mode.
Yeah.
And you can feel, God, the beeps, yeah. You can feel that rear end wanting to come around. It's very playful to drive.
Right, it really is. Let's come around this roundabout here.
See?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. That was with no drift mode on, and it still does really like to hang around.
It's so fun to drive.
Yeah.
I just, like...
That literally doesn't stop while you're, the battery's full like this.
Really?
Yeah, maybe if I took it out of iPedal mode, it would change. Let's see. Park. This took a long time to get to work properly for me. I was doing it in the Winding Road video, and I had to restart the car, and it looks like it might be the case here with this as well. It's just not...
Well, you have to do everything in the sequence.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's... Okay. And then... with sport mode first. Then
hold that.
And then
foot on the brake, those.
Okay.
There we go.
and then
It's like a PS2 button dance.
right.
You
See,
hear the diff.
it didn't do any. That was full throttle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It didn't. Oh, God.
You
Felt that in my teeth.
You have to really be just get the right steering angle and situation. It feels very electric car-y.
Well, probably because it is an electric car. Yeah, it is a little artificial. It felt more natural when you were just in sport.
Yeah. And that's kind of, you get that, a lot of that with this car is it's a lot of like, here, we did this thing, but in practice it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. Also, did this happen to you where you have to press this every time you get in the
Yes.
car? Why? You have to acknowledge these 4 things every time.
I don't know.
My opinion of the actual car, my best analogy for it is, and it's only, I think, coincidence that this is Korean, and the analogy I'm about to make is also with a Korean brand. The Genesis to a BMW is like Samsung to Apple. And I think there's a lot of people who have BMWs and everything. You come with the Genesis, you're like, look, this does everything the same on paper, and a lot of things even better and cooler. But then you get in the BMW and you're just kind of like, yeah, I get it. The Genesis does more, it's cheaper, everything like that. But I just like the BMW better.
Yes, but this has a drawer.
I know, and it's little gimmicks like that are the same thing. I could take a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and I could show you, look, Chris, this has more cameras than your
Yeah.
iPhone 12 Pro Max. It does this, it does that. It's got a
But I'd
stylus.
still buy
all
the
this.
iPhone.
You'd still buy the iPhone.
Yes.
Even though the iPhone costs more, it gets you less, but it does it so well.
Yeah.
And we spent time with that BMW i4 and just absolutely loved it. And the i4 got better range. It got its EPA range more accurately.
Yeah.
It drove better.
I think this is more fun around corners than the i4.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. There are definitely things that this car does better,
Yeah.
but overall,
And it
I would
looks
have the
cooler.
i4.
I probably would too. But I really, really like this car.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like it.
The active lane keeping loses itself quite a bit. It's
Does it? I
it's
didn't
pretty
try
good
that
when
at
it's
all.
just very, very clear highway. It takes itself very well, but if you get into any sort of construction zone or whatever, it fails. And every time you enable the cruise control, it beeps. And then when you take the cruise control off, it beeps. If you want to turn off iPedal, it beeps. You have to turn iPedal on every time you get in the car if you want one pedal driving, so you have to hear it beep again. This is
Yeah,
good.
so a lot of beeps.
Yeah, a lot of beeps.
But it does have acoustic control in the headliner and the floor.
You know what other car has acoustic control?
Probably BMWs.
Buicks.
Really?
Mhm.
So even worse.
Yes.
Well, better in your mind.
The ride is quite good. We're going over the rough ride section here, even in the performance model. It is very good. I like having the boost button. I did one thing that was quite degenerate this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
On the highway range test, I was stuck behind 2 semi-trucks, and they were taking forever,
Oh,
going like
God.
68 miles per hour, if that. And you can do this in electric vehicles, you know. So we came up to a place where there was an on-ramp on the right side that was a very long on-ramp. I knew it was a very long on-ramp. Oh, wait, quick side note. Hatch rattle.
Yes.
Okay.
The whole time. I thought it was the charging cable, but I
Okay.
ruled that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was a on-ramp on the right, so I hit the boost button, pulled into the on-ramp, shot by the semi-truck, got back over, and was totally fine.
It was a degen move.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I saw somebody do that on my highway fuel economy test, but they were in a Range Rover.
Ooh, that's a little more
Yeah,
ballsy.
so
Yeah. Did you do these marks?
some of them.
Was that in this?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yeah, true. There's no proof of that.
Yeah. Another thing that's woeful in this car, and I think is inexcusable, this.
Oh, the Ioniq 5's the same way.
You pay but this car you pay $70,000. This is the most technologically forward car with its biometric authentication and everything, but yet you have to plug in your device to get CarPlay.
And down there.
And down there.
And then there's nowhere to put your phone.
Well, actually.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. But does it fit my phone while plugged in is the question, because my phone is large.
Chris bragging about his phone size.
Well, you know. You don't
No.
know, Charlie. Well, leave it there and see if it falls out.
Well, it would definitely fall out because you'd hit the boost button.
Well, we're going to try it. We'll just try it.
Okay.
Can I drive for one last
But
time?
the thing is, this is an excellently placed wireless device charger, and it's useless because you have to have your phone plugged in anyway.
Yeah. This is for if you have a passenger.
It's one of the worst things about this car.
Yeah, I
is
agree.
the fact you don't have wireless Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
I excuse it in something like a Hyundai, but not in a Genesis.
Yes, but then you just reach up and touch the Alcantara. Everything's okay again. Well, you know what else? You can't, in the Ioniq 5, you can move the center thing. I don't think you can do that in this.
Yeah, but that's a stupid feature.
Yes, but Alyssa said it's for purses, didn't she?
Maybe. Also, the passenger doesn't get massage.
I didn't even know the driver got massage.
Yeah.
I only spent like a day in this car, so I didn't really find all of the stuff.
That's true, and you were just drifting it the whole time.
And I was just drifting it.
Don't get me wrong, I know I'm being a bit cross with this car. There are really a lot of things I do like about it.
Drift mode.
I like how there's physical climate controls. I like how there's a rotary knob to control the screen because the screen's too far away. So I appreciate a lot about how this car is designed. I just think once you're asking $70,000 and you're shooting for the big boys, the luxury cars,
Yeah.
you need to be doing everything right. And there are things in this car that are head scratchers that turn me off from it. And then we get into the whole electric vehicle situation. I went to the exact same Electrify America charger that you did with the Ioniq 5 when you went to Chicago and it charged up. Yep, and it charged up like instantly.
Yeah.
It started out at, it was fairly low battery percentage, to be fair, but it started up only charging at like 70. Oh my gosh, it entirely messed up my camera.
So fast. Sorry.
It was only charging at something like 75 kilowatts.
Oh, yeah,
Max
it was
is 350.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ioniq 5 charged in like 15 minutes.
Right. This car claims to take 18 minutes to go from 10 to 80%.
Okay.
It took 30 minutes or so.
No, that's not too bad.
But it is when the car claims that it will do 18.
I thought you said it was the charger's fault.
No, it's not the charger. I went to the exact same charger.
Oh.
And it sped up a little bit, but it only got up to something like 120 kilowatts when this car is supposed to do up to 350 kilowatts, and it was a 350 kilowatt charger.
Right.
So you got that situation going on. Then I had gone to another charger before that. That charger was out of operation. And then later on in the trip, we wanted to kind of change up our plans a little bit and go to eat somewhere else that was kind of further away from our route. And it entirely changed how we had to charge, how long our trip was going to take and everything. We had to go to a different charger that was half the speed of the Portage charger. And it just shows how when you own an electric vehicle, especially one that isn't a Tesla and doesn't have access to the Tesla supercharging network, you're limited to kind of your initial plan with owning an EV vehicle if you're going to go on a road trip. Like when you went to Chicago, you couldn't have been like, oh, I want to go visit a friend an hour out of my way, because it probably would have entirely messed up your charging situation. So
got to pick a plan before you begin and then stick with it.
Yes. Yeah, and that's still a downside of owning an EV here, and especially because at least if you own a Tesla, you know that any supercharger on your map is going to charge it at the same speed. There's going to be like 8 superchargers available. You're going to be fine. If you try, oh yeah, that fell out.
Yeah, it did.
Yep. If you own a vehicle like this, you only have like certain chargers that are going to charge it at the proper speed, and even those aren't always going to necessarily work properly. Like if you go to the EV screen here and go here and then to EV charging stations and filter out by AC charger, you only want DC chargers. There's DC and then there's DC plus. But you might not know, in light screen, you might not know that this charger is actually out of operation right now.
Why?
They're just fixing it.
Ah.
So you would drive to this, and then you'd be frustrated to find out that that charger is not working right now. Okay. So
or there's somebody on it.
What's that?
Or there's somebody on it.
Or there's somebody on it, yes. And then you scroll through and you realize, oh, none of these are DC plus. Literally none. So that means you're only charging at something like 50 kilowatts, even though this car is capable of 350. And it's just, all of that I mean to say, this car is still not ready for someone who's not an EV enthusiast. Somebody like your mother, my wife, probably, to a lot of extent, even you. Because if you're going to buy a car, you just want to get in and have it work.
Yeah.
And if you got in and navigated to this only DC plus charger, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And then you'd be cross. And your entire day would be screwed up, and you'd be like, screw this, I just want my Lexus back.
there's your thumbnail text. I just want my Lexus back.
Yeah. So, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool stuff with this car, but I think it's a little bit better on paper than it is in the real world, and there are annoyances that Genesis could easily fix, but until they do that, I don't think I'd want to own this car.
But
let me show you something, Chris, which the viewers will have already seen this.
Into the GV60 to drive it into the office, and the shifter has not opened all the way. So it's sort of loose.
oh no.
Yep.
Not. Is it shiftable? Oh, you can shift. Okay. You can still shift it, but it hasn't latched
You can
into
see
place.
it's like
I'm gonna try turning it off.
up still. It was like part way
Yeah,
up.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that's inspiring at 7,000 miles. What happens when you try to drive your car and the only way to put it into drive stops working?
Just want my Lexus back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do like this car though.
I like this car too.
It's a lot of fun.
It got multiple compliments on the interior design, which I agree with. I think this is one of the coolest designed cars, both inside and out, on the market here in 2022.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
And even, again, like I said, even though they made it very futuristic, there are things about it that just work. Climate controls, window switches, door handles. All those are still very generic and straightforward, and they just
I quite
work.
like this.
Yeah, I like that too. He's referring to the way to adjust your mirrors over there. And did you notice the outside mirrors have a cool design to them? They're kind of oblique. Yeah. Very well designed and thought out car. It needs to be even better. It does. When you're asking 70 grand,
Yeah.
it needs to step up.
Would you have this, an Ioniq 5 or an EV6?
EV6.
Okay.
Because I can't buy this or an Ioniq 5.
Okay.
But also I'd have the EV6 because, like I was talking about in our previous video, other than the biometric authentication and the A-tier sound system, there's not much that you don't get in the EV6.
480 horsepower.
You get the GT. You get 570 something.
Okay. And as always, drive on.
And you don't get a gaping mouth in the EV6, I guess. This should be my thumbnail right here. Just. I think it's a little ugly, but
It looks like.
Yeah. But I think it's a good kind of ugly. I think it's.
I love the
I
way
think it makes
looks.
a statement.
I love the way it looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
busy, but very cool.
I've never seen one of these on the road other than this one.
Yeah, it's because no one can buy them. Yeah. So thank you for watching. We like the GV60. We just wish it were even better.
Yeah.
And because then it would be really, really quite good. Also, I like that little C-pillar zigzag back there.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Lots of cool little design elements.
Mm-hmm. If you own a GV60, let us know. How's your experience with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the next one. We are Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and as always, boost button on.
Oh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.